park, and we all know the stories. 15 years ago, out in South Dakota, when I was on the fire department, volunteer fire department for 7 years, we had many different fires because of the train which came into town. There was a little slope, and as the train was coming into town, it would have sparks off its wheels, and one of our fires was a 5,000-acre fire. It was a huge fire. We had to call in all the mutual aid agreements from the other towns, and I was out on the back of just a pickup truck. That's one of the vehicles we had in our fire department with about 500 gallons of water, and one guy, Arlo, was driving the pickup truck, and I'm on the back of the truck with bunker gear on, spraying down the fire, and he's having a blast in the truck with fresh air. I'm full of smoke. I mean, he's driving right through the fire. And I'm on the back of that truck, and I'm thinking to myself, Lord, I don't want to die out here in the midst of this fire. It was so bad. Couldn't see anything. 5,000 acres burned because of sparks from the train. Our words are like that. Our words have power to destroy. Now, the other side is sometimes we all know that firemen have to set back fires in order to stop a raging fire from progressing any farther. So the words of our lives, they can be the fire which destroy, but they can also be the fire which stops a bigger raging fire from going. Does that make sense? I get some yeses on that? Some heads bobbing? The words of our lives can destroy what's going on within our lives. There's an Indian story about a lady, Native American Indian lady, who was bad-mouthing, gossiping, belittling one of her neighbor friends. Just really telling a lot of gossip and things that she thought were true. But she found out they weren't true. So she went to the medicine man, the religious man of the tribe, and she went to him and said, you know, I've been gossiping about my neighbor lady, and I know now that what I've said is not true. What do I do? And the religious man said, you know, I'm a little hungry. I think, would you go back to your teepee and slaughter one of your chickens and pluck it and just sort of let the feathers go spread and bake the chicken for me and bring me back some food and we can talk about it at that point? The lady went back to her own Tempe. Yeah, Tempe. I don't know where I got Tempe out of teepee. My brain was thinking wigwam, and I got Tempe. Teepee. Okay, she went back to her own teepee, slaughtered the chicken, she plucked the feathers, she just sort of let the feathers go in the wind, and she took the chicken and roasted it over the open fire, and she's all excited, thinking if she goes back to the religious man, the wise man, he'll give her absolution, and everything's going to be fine, and she brings back this great chicken meal to the religious man, the wise man, and he looks at her and says, you're wondering about your words of the other woman? Now I want you to go pick up all the feathers from this chicken that had been blowing all over the place and collect all the feathers from the chicken. Our words are like that. The words that we say are like a fire or like feathers which blow away. And in order for us to return them, it can be an immense responsibility or job. I mean, in some respects, this whole talk this morning could be summed up in the simple phrase, if you don't got nothing to say, that's good. Don't say anything at all. Words destroy our lives and destroy other people's lives. So they direct us, they can destroy us. They also display what's within our hearts. Verses 11 and 12 of James chapter 3. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? My brothers, my sisters, can a fig tree bear olives or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can salt or salt water or salt spring produce fresh water. Verse 10 says, out of the same mouth comes praise and cursing. Brothers and sisters, this can't be so. The words that we say with each other actually detail and display what's in our hearts. A couple weeks ago, I was with another individual that I mean, it's interesting, having been here for 12 years and having older kids and having kids know the older kids, and people come and they know who I am after a little bit of time. Well, precursor to the story, the fact that I was at a place in the area a few weeks ago, early on a Saturday morning, and the guys were sitting in there, and they were all sort of talking like sailors, sort of tongues like sailors, but they know I'm a pastor, but they're just sort of used to me being there, and they just kept going. In walks a lady. Okay, I got a couple stories of ladies today, I'm sorry. In walks a younger gal, and she has a mouth like a sailor. Sort of going on and on, just her verbiage. Have to explain to your son what a mouth like a sailor is now? With her verbiage, and after about 15 minutes, I just said to her, and you are, and she said who she was, and I said, oh, do you know my daughter? And she looks and she goes, you're Pastor Greg. I go, yeah, I am. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, there was no swear words. It's amazing. But the reality is what Jesus is here in Luke. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from a thorn bush or grapes from briars. The good man, good person, brings good things out of the good stored up in their heart. The evil person brings evil things out of the evil in their heart. For out of the overflow of their heart, our mouths speak. What's in the well will come out in the water. What's in the well will come out in the water. The type of tree it is going to be what fruit it produces. You don't find oranges on apple trees. We don't find bananas on pear trees. What's in the well will come out in the water. The type of the tree is the fruit that it will produce. The words that you and I say, Jesus says, display what's in our heart. So James here is saying, words direct us, they destroy, they can be destroyous, they display what's within our heart, but also words can delight us. Verses 9 and 10 of James 3. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse men and women. We who have been made in God's image. We're back to being made in God's image. We don't need to have graven images. We are God's image. Out of the same mouth comes praise and cursing. My brothers, sisters, this should not be so. The reality is, words can be a delight. Now, I don't want all of you walking out this morning and saying, oh man, PG, that was a great talk this morning. But I can tell you myself, I like to hear positive words. Who of us don't? I mean, if you don't, there's probably something wrong going on. Everybody likes to hear positive words. Words can be a delight. We can feel that within ourselves when people use those power of words to buoy us up. We also can buoy other people up with the power of our words. Proverbs 25:11 says, a word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Just think about that word picture. When I close my eyes and think about it, it's a beautiful scene. You know, you got a beautiful table that's decorated, and everything is clean and proper and matching and crystal and china. And you have the apples of gold in the settings of the silver. Our words to each other can be a delight and can buoy each one of us up. In some respects, I wanted to just stop here this morning with these 4 ideas. The fact that our words delight, they destroy, they display, they direct, they destroy, they display, and they delight. But there's one more idea, one more acronym I want to throw out to you all this morning. something that maybe you might be able to also take home besides these 4 ideas.